Good afternoon, everyone. So, in today's topic of legal aspect of business, we are discussing about the free consent, which is one of the important element when it comes to the uh, valid essentials of valid contract in contract act. So, if we talk about free consent, first we need to understand consent. So, consent is when two or more persons are said to have consent when they are agreed upon same thing in the same sense. And section 14 of Indian Contract Act defines that consent is said to be free when it is not caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, or mistake. If two parties have given their consent on a contract and they are not under influence of any of these five elements, so the consent is said to be free. And if the consent is not free, the contract shall be void. So we will discuss each element individually. So first we discuss about the coercion. So what is coercion? See, coercion is basically means that committing or threatening to commit any forbidden act by IPC, or unlawful detaining and threatening to detain any other person's property with a view to uh, enter into an agreement. So it is immaterial whether the IPC is not force where the coercion is employed. So it is very much clear that coercion includes if you are committing any act which is forbidden by IPC, or you have already committed that particular act, or you are detaining any someone's property, or you are threatening that you are going to detain someone's property. So this with a view that this concerned person is need to enter into a contract, so this comes under coercion. Second element is undue influence. See, sometimes the parties of contract uh, compelled to enter into a contract against his wish or will, as a result unfair persuasion by other party. It may happen between when two parties involved and one party is dominating one and other party is under the dominance of previous party. So in that case undue influence can happen, but there are certain essentials of undue influence. First is there must be two-person involved, as I already told you. There need to be a relation between them. That means these two person have certain kind of relation in which one is dominating and other is under dominance. There must be unfair advantage from the dominating party to the dominated party. Uh, it involves moral pressure. So someone is not pressurizing on your face, but it is a moral pressure on you to enter into such particular contract. So undue influence is considered in certain relationship, which includes principal and agent relationship, which includes subordinate and superior relationship, doctor and patient relationship, father and son relationship, teacher and student relationship, promoter of a company and the company's relationship, master and the servant, spiritual advisors and the devotees. So in that case, if the contract is happening, that means one party is dominating party and second party is under dominance of first party. However, there are certain cases in which undue influence is not considered, such as in case of husband and wife, in case of landlord and tenant, in case of debtors and creditors. Now we move on to third essential, which is fraud. Fraud means uh, any act committed by the party to the contract, or with his convince by his agent, with an intention to deceive uh, other party or induce a person to enter into a contract. So fraud may include any suggestion of fact which is not true, and or any active concealment of fact on believing of which the second party may act, any promise which is made without intention to perform it, any other act which is fitted to deceive, or any such act or omission that law especially declares that it is a kind of fraud. So all these activities comes under fraud. So there are certain essentials of fraud also. There must be a representation, and the representation must be false. The representation must related to the fact of material fact of the contract. The representation must have made with the intention of inducing other party to act upon it. That means to enter into the contract if you are concealing any fact or you are misrepresenting something. The representation must have been made with the knowledge that it the knowledge of its falsity. That means the person who is making that false statement, he himself know that the representation is false. The other party must have subsequently suffered from the losses. If a person is falsely represent something, and the second party which entered into a contract on the basis of that representation, and the party has not suffered from any loss, so it is not amount as fraud. Next element is misrepresentation. So misrepresentation is also a kind of fraud, but the severity of misrepresentation is less than the fraud, because there is a difference in fraud and misrepresentation. Fraud is intentional, but misrepresentation is unintentional. So misrepresentation is false representation of fact made by the party on agreement with without any intention to deceive other parties. There are certain essentials of misrepresentation as well. So there must be a representation. That means for a representation to be misrepresentation, there should be a representation first. So the representation must be related to the fact material of the contract. The representation must have been made with the intention to inducing other party to act upon it. But the person making the false representation should honestly believe that it is true. So this is the difference between fraud and the misrepresentation. And then the other party must have subsequently suffered from the loss. This is also similar to case of fraud. That means if a party is not suffered, then there is no representation. Last element in free consent is when two parties enter into a contract by mistake. So mistake can be defined as any incorrect idea or opinion about something. So there are basically two types of mistake. First is mistake of law, second is mistake of fact. When it comes to mistake of law, there could be possibility of mistake of law of your own country, and there should be mistake of law of foreign country. So in case of mistake of law of your own country, so ignorance of law of your own country is no excuse for the which does not amount as it is not by your consent. So there is no excuse for ignorance of your own country's law. But in foreign, if you are having mistake of foreign country law, so the contract need to be void. Then second type of mistake is bilateral mistake and unilateral mistake. So what is a bilateral mistake? Bilateral mistake when the both parties are under the agreement are under mistake about the material fact or essential for the agreement. So bilateral mistake of subject matter could happen in many ways. Mistake as to very existence of subject matter, that means both party have mistaken about the existence of subject matter. Mistake of identity of, that means they could not recognize the subject matter of the contract. Mistake as to quantity or the quality of subject matter uh, by the both parties. Mistake as to title, I mean the ownership of the subject matter. Mistake as to price of the subject matter. So these are comes as mistake, bilateral mistake. And if you talk about unilateral mistake, so unilateral mistake are the mistake which is not amount as void contract, because unilateral mistake, when there is one party at the mistake, another party is not at the mistaken. So this is all about consent of free consent of parties in a valid contract. So that is it for the day. Thank you so much.